different looks, you know, like I've always been a brunette my whole life. I've had brown hair, and I heard that blondes have more fun, right? She's looking at me like, not tonight, bitch. So, a few weeks ago, I dyed my hair blonde just to see what would happen. I'll tell you, one night I'm sitting on a bench with my new blonde hair. Some guy comes over to me. He goes, "How much, honey? How much for the night?" I'm like, dude, I am not a hooker. Ugh. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, you know, we were talking over the price, and so I did online dating. Online dating is annoying. People lie online all the time in their profile. You know, they lie about what they look like, what they do for a living. Then when you meet them, it's a whole different picture. Right? Like I was talking to this guy online. True story. He told me he was 5'10". Then I met him in person. That turned out to be his weight. Hard to be single here. My friend, she's a model. Drop dead gorgeous, beautiful girl. She can date any guy she wants, but because she lives in this city, she always ends up with these losers or like these weirdos. Like she was dating a guy. I like interesting, sorry. Okay. Dating 31 years old, still lives with his mother. All right, that's okay, acceptable at 31, right? Then she was dating another guy, 36, still lives with his grandpa, and not in that nice Asian way. You know how they welcome their grandpa, right? There's no Asian people here. They're not here. They're way too classy for this show. They're all out playing violin somewhere. You know what I mean? It's Saturday night, right? But they welcome the grand. He can live with them. The grandpa in an Asian household. He says wise things. They write it down, and they stick it in a cookie. Spanish people, right? Anybody Latin in here? Yeah. Right? You guys are really good to your abuela. Right? Yeah. That means grandma in Spanish, Whitey. Okay? she can cook over a pot of paella or ceviche or whatever the fuck you guys eat, a taco, right? She'll babysit your kids, right? Like all 42 of them. You know what I mean? Black people are really nice to their grandparents, right? Really? Well, at least that's what we saw in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay? I used to use the Cosby Show for that joke, but obviously I can't anymore. Okay? So I digress. Okay? My friend, the model, dating this guy who has to live with his grandpa because he's poor. Okay? Now I might not be a model, all right, but I have standards too. Never date a guy who lives with his mother, lives with his grandpa. I need a guy with a little class, a little maturity. I know times are rough, but come on. At least live with your wife. I'm only kidding, guys, I'm only kidding. But I was dating a guy who had a girlfriend. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. He lied the entire time, okay? Found out, of course, we're broken up when I found out. Found out later, he told me she started getting suspicious. And then she started freaking out. She was like, oh my God, I have to take an STD test now. And I was like, good, let me know if I have anything. I was raised by a single mother. Anybody raised by a single parent in here? Clap it up, clap it up. Oh, a lot of people. What is like orphan night at the comedy club? I was raised by a single mother, so my grandma was around all the time. She helped raise me. She was like a father to me, you know. She even had the beard. And I was a kid, I was insecure, and like she didn't want to make me feel too good about myself, so I would ask her about my looks. She always said the same thing, like, well, you're not gorgeous, you're not beautiful, but you definitely have a face. Thanks, Grandma. Now I know what to put on my profile for Match.com, right? Hi guys, are you looking for a girl with a face? Now my grandma's really old, and I call her up to ask her how she's doing. All she ever wants to do is tell me about the weather for some reason. I guess there's nothing else going on. Call her up, she lives in Florida. I'm like, Grandma, how are you? Well, it's like 82 degrees outside, very sunny, a little windy, but that should clear up tomorrow. I'm like, Grandma, I don't care about the weather report. You know, how are you? How are you doing? She goes, I'm 95 years old. How the fuck do you think I am? I'm pregnant. And like she curses all the time, very tough old lady from the Bronx, you know, kind of like a cougar, right? But she's a Jewish cougar, so she's actually a Juger. And so then she wants to know how I'm doing. She's like, you're the one as a comedian in New York City. I'm sure you must be dating all kinds of fascinating, interesting men. Tell me what's exciting with you. I'm like, oh, thanks, Grandma. Well, it's like 35 degrees outside. I also watch a lot of political shows on TV, you know, not just a whore. And, they had Newt the show, this guy, he's a politician, he's a little anti-female. He said that he feels that women should never be in combat because they have no upper body strength and they get infections once a month. That's what he said, direct quote. Now, I don't know if you've seen this guy, but if there's anybody who looks like an infection with no upper body strength, it is Newt Gingrich. Seriously, Google him. Like, not during my set, but during the next guy. And he said that women get infections once a month. He calls that an infection, ladies, our monthly thing that we get. This. Now, I don't know about you, when I get an infection, I take an antibiotic. When I get that once a month, I jump up and down and yell hallelujah. That's what I do. Oh, don't look at me like you haven't been there, bitch. Come on. I gotta go. Before I go, I want you guys to know I did go on a date recently. I want you to know. I went on a third date with an attorney. Thank you very much. An attorney. I know. Some of you guys are shocked, aren't you? You didn't think I could do it, did you? Little 5-foot me with an attorney. But that's what happens when you get a DUI. You meet attorneys. My name is Sheba Mason. My father's also a comedian, Jackie Mason, and I'm proud of it. Thanks. I'm a product of a love affair. You woke up all of a sudden. Thank you so much. I am a product of a love affair, though, like I said before. So you see, everybody, this is what you get when you don't use protection. You get a little comedian who kind of looks like a hooker. Thank you.